Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn the second lesson of History and Political Science, 9th standard students. Now, first tell me, who is the present Prime Minister of India? Yes, Narendra Modi. Can you know the first Prime Minister of India? First Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Then can you remember some of the Prime Ministers? Okay, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister. Then we have whom we have Lal Bahadur Shastri we have, correct? Then Indira Gandhi we have, you may be knowing Indira Gandhi. Then we have Rajiv Gandhi over here. Then we have Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Hmm? There are many more, many more leaders or many more prime ministers. So today, what we are going to learn is India events after 1960. That means after independence. After independence. Okay, 1947 we got independence. After that, whatever things have happened that we shall learn in this lesson. India events after 1960. India became independent in 1947 Christian era. India accepted the constitutional framework in 1950 and became a sovereign democratic nation. We got our constitution by Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, who, with the help of others, had written down that the Indian society is multicultural and people of various languages, religions, ethnicities, and castes live together. We all live together happily, but then at times we fight with each other in the name of religion, caste, under the guidance of the politicians. We are having a really beautiful country, India, where of different religion, different caste, creed, people stay together. But then because of these few hooligans, I would say, they destroy the diversity of our country. Students, you are the future of country. Today you are sitting together. Tomorrow don't kill each other in the name of religion. But be united, help each other, grow together. That is the power, that is the beauty of our country. During the initial period after independence, India needed to solve different issues of economic, political, and social development. The establishment of the Planning Commission and emphasis on industrialization was a means to achieve economic development and to eliminate poverty in India. Successful conduct of elections and faith in democratic traditions made it possible for us to achieve political stability. At the same time, several social reforms, including policies and programs for the weaker section of the society, were sought to be implemented. So different people came and different thoughts they had for the growth of our country, because just India was growing after the independence and after the moving out from the rule of British rule. Okay, 1960, that is 1960s. In the decade of the 1960s, several events occurred which had a huge impact on the political situation in India. The regions of Goa, Diu, and Daman were freed from Portuguese rule and became parts of the Indian Federation. First thing. The tensions between India and China on the northern border, which had been rising since 1950, culminated in the War of 1962 between two countries. This war was fought in the region of the McMahon Line. Okay, this is the second thing which took place. Yeah, McMahon Line was very important. Till today, we know that line. After India became independent, Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru led the country. He was the architect of India's foreign policy. His contribution to the social and economic development of India is significant. Jawaharlal Nehru passed away in 1964. Lal Bahadur Shastri succeeded him and became the next Prime Minister of India. During his tenure, India and Pakistan went to war over the Kashmir issue in 1965. The Soviet Union tried to mediate between the two countries. Lal Bahadur Shastri gave the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Means both the soldiers are also important and the farmers are also important. The soldiers save the country and the farmers feed the country. Keep in mind, the soldiers save the country or guard the country, and farmers feed the country. So both are equally important. Today we remember the Jawans, but we forget the farmers who are committing suicide every day. We have to really think about them. So the food, the crops which they grow, do not waste the food, students. Do not waste the food. Take how much you want. It is the hard effort of these farmers who slog. We are all farmers. You know how it takes difficulties to prepare, cultivate the crops, and if you waste the food, is not right. Lal Bahadur Shastri, okay, with which he highlighted the importance of Indian soldiers and Indian farmers. Lal Bahadur Shastri breathed his last at Tashkent in 1966. 1964, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru died. 1966, Lal Bahadur Shastri died after 2 years. Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India in 1966. During her tenure, Pakistan's oppressive policies in East Pakistan resulted in a big movement there. This movement was led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and his organization Mukti Bahini. This crisis in East Pakistan affected India as well because millions of refugees came to India. Okay. 1970, now 1970s. The 1971 war between India and Pakistan led to the creation of an independent country called Bangladesh. In 1971, there was a war between India and Pakistan, and there was a independent country called Bangladesh which came out. As a part of India's policy to use atomic energy for peaceful purposes, India successfully carried out an underground test of an atomic device at Pakistan in Rajasthan in 1974. In 1975, the people of Sikkim voted for joining the Indian Republic, and Sikkim became a full-fledged state in the Indian Federation. Sikkim was separate. People of Sikkim voted, okay, for joining the Indian Republic, and Sikkim became a full-fledged state in the Indian Federation. During his decade, during this decade, the political situation in India grew unstable. The Allahabad High Court gave the verdict in 1974 that Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, had misused the government machinery during her election campaign. It led to nationwide strikes and protests. During this period, the situation became more complicated due to the movement led by Jayaprakash Narayan. The situation of law and order in the country worsened, and the government declared a state of national emergency on the basis of the constitutional provision. Okay. Related to emergency. During this turbulent period, the fundamental rights of Indian citizens was suspended. Due to the emergency, the Indian administration became disciplined, but the human rights were restricted. The period of the national emergency lasted from 1975 to 1977. So 2 years this emergency lasted, and after that, general election were conducted. On the backdrop of the emergency, many opposition parties came together and formed a party called the Janata Party. The Congress Party, led by Indira Gandhi, was roundly defeated by this newly formed Janata Party. Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister, but under the leadership, the Janata Party government couldn't last long due to the internal differences. Charan Singh succeeded him, but even this his government was a short-lived one. Elections were conducted once again in 1980, and the Congress Party under the leadership of Indira Gandhi came to power again. During this decade, the Indian political system faced many new challenges. The Sikhs in Punjab demanded an independent state of Khalistan and began a movement which went on to become violent and destructive. Pakistan had lent its support to this movement. The Indian army was sent into the Golden Temple at Amritsar, a holy shrine of the Sikhs, in 1984 to evict the terrorists who had been allegedly taken shelter there. One of the Sikh bodyguards in Indira Gandhi's personal security assassinated her. During this period, an organization called United Liberation Front of Assam (ULFA) carried on a major movement in northeast India. Right after Indira Gandhi's assassination in 1984, Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India. He tried to make several reforms in the field of Indian economy and that of science and technology. He took the lead in solving the issues of the Tamil minority, okay, in Sri Lanka. And afterwards, where he was, and there only the Tamil tigers only killed him. Okay, he promoted the idea of a united Sri Lanka with internal autonomy or to the Tamil community, but his efforts in this regard proved to be in vain. He faced a lot of criticism in the context of corruption that took place during a defense equipment deal, that is Bofors, okay, especially the purchase of long range cannons from a foreign company called Bofors. Political corruption became a crucial issue in the general election that followed, and the Congress party was defeated. Several political parties formed a coalition called the Janta Dal, and Vishwanath Pratap Singh became the next Prime Minister of India. The policy for providing reservations for other backward, that is OBC class, other backward classes, OBC is considered to be his most important contribution. Whose contribution it is? It is a contribution of Prime Minister, this one what you call Vishwanath Pratap Singh, okay, Prime Minister of India, then Prime Minister. This is the cause for OBC, this one. This contribution is considered to be his most important contribution. He could not continue as prime minister due to internal differences in the party in 1990. Chandrasekhar, okay, Chandrasekhar became the prime minister of India. His government was also short lived. In 1991, during the election campaign, the terrorist organization in Sri Lanka, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, that is LTTE, assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. Bomb exploded. Sleeper, this one was there. One lady who had put the what you call bomb to her body came and killed him, assassinated him. Towards the end of the decade of 1980, the unrest in Jammu and Kashmir had begun. The terrorist activities there forced the Kashmir Pandits to leave the valley. This problem grew serious day by day today, and today it has taken the form of terrorism. Okay, Kashmir Pandits were there, and then Muslims were there, so they were made to suffer and all, and then that terrorism took came into consideration over there. The changes after 1991. The year 1991 is held to be very important in the history of the world as well as India. The Soviet Union disintegrated into several different small countries and the Cold War came to an end. In India, the government under the leadership of Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao initiated many changes in the Indian economy. During this period, the Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Mosque issue at Ayodhya came to the forefront. Okay, in 1991, Babri Masjid was broken, fallen, was shattered. Okay, in the elections conducted between 1996 and 1999, no political party got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. This resulted in three governments in a short span of time. Those led by Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, H.D. Dev Gowda, and Inder Kumar Gujral were amongst them. Finally, in 1999, the National Democratic Alliance. Okay, till that time, it was only one single party ruling. After that, started the small parties ruling. Okay, and afterwards there was no common majority, no full majority any party got. So they had to form a coalition government. So today we have UPA and NDA. Okay. Alliance came to power under the flag of Bharatiya Janata Party and Atal Bihari Vajpayee became India's Prime Minister. Atal Bihari Vajpayee tried to establish a dialogue with Pakistan but was not successful. India conducted a number of nuclear tests in 1998 and declared herself as an atomic power. In 1999, there was another war between India and Pakistan in Kargil region over the Kashmir issue. India defeated Pakistan in this war as well during Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Okay. Indian economy. Now, this wars and all took place. What effect it had on the economy? Let us see. Right from independence, the modernization of economy, economic self-sufficiency, and social justice have been the characteristics of Indian economy. India wanted to acquire modernity and self-reliance by establishing industries. We wanted to establish an economy based on social justice through planning. For this, the National Planning Commission was established that would coordinate, develop through the policy of 5 year plan. Then 5 year plan started like let us see. The Narasimha Rao government started economic reforms from 1991. These economic reforms are called as economic liberalizations. The Indian economy flourished as a result of the implementation of this policy. The foreign investment in India increased. Skilled Indian professionals helped reform the Indian economy. The field of information technology opened several avenues of employment in the country. The changes after 1991 are also described as globalization. So, the Indian economy started moving because there was a dream to grow up or to improve our technology, and then as a result we started moving out in different fields, skill labor, skill investments, and as a result all 5 year plan came. And then after 5 year plan coming, we started thinking what has to be paid attention during this 5 year plan, what has to be developed and all, and a lot of changes took place, and then that gave rises to employment. People started working in different this one, and this was possible because of globalization. One market was important. Then comes the science and technology also played an important role. Two major events must be mentioned while describing India's efforts towards self-reliance. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is known as the father of the green revolution. Okay, greenery everywhere. In 1965, he implemented new scientific agriculture. Another one is white revolution. Okay, yes, 1965 techniques and increase the production of food grains. The experiment in cooperative dairy movement by Dr. Varghese Kurin led to increase of milk production in India. This is called as White Revolution. India had also made a lot of progress in the fields of atomic energy and space research. The person whom come to our mind is Dr. Homi Bhabha. Dr. Homi Bhabha Bhabha laid the foundation of the Indian atomic power program. India insisted on using atomic energy for peaceful purposes like generation of electricity, pharmaceuticals, and defense. India has achieved considerable success in space technology as well. In 1975, the first satellite Aryabhatta was launched. Today, India has a successful space program and many satellites have been launched under the program. India has also made considerable advancement in the telecom sector. Changes in social field. Now, changes in social field. Society we are living. So there are some traditions, some things which are to be changed. What they changed, let us see. During this period, there were several major changes in the social field in India. Some of the changes are related with the issue of the empowerment of women, and the other are related with the policies regarding the upliftment of the deprived section of the society. To promote the all-round development of women and children, a separate department of women and child development was created in 1985 under the Ministry of Human Resources Development. Some laws were made to ensure social justice to women and to help the implementation of various schemes in this direction. They include the Prohibition of Dowry Act, Equal Remuneration Act. Dowry Act means no paying dowry. Equal remuneration means man and women should get same remuneration. As per the 73rd and 74th Constitution amendments, seats were reserved for women in the local self-government bodies. Okay, even in local government bodies also women had seats according to 73rd and 74th amendments in the Constitution. According to the makers of the Indian Constitution, some constituents of this Indian society were deprived of dignity and equal opportunity due to the caste system. The the Kaka Saheb Kalekar Commission was set up in 1953 to make recommendations so as to improve their conditions. In 1978, a commission was constituted under the chairmanship of B.P. Mondal to study the issue of the backward classes. The policy of reservation was adopted in order to strengthen the representation of backward section in the various services and institutions. The government passed the Prevention of the Atrocities Act in 1989 to enable those belonging to the scheduled castes and tribes to live with dignity and respect, free from fear, violence, and oppression of the upper classes. Because there was upper class and lower class, the upper class were manhandling sometimes the lower class, so the Atrocities Act came. What is globalization? Globalization brought about many changes in different fields like economy, politics, science and technology, and society and culture. We have discussed some of these changes in the above paragraphs. India has emerged as an important country on the global scene in different spheres. India is an important member of international organizations like G20 and BRICS. Okay, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. India has experienced an important revolution in the field of telecommunication technology. Mobile phones, internet, and the communication facilities based on satellite have spread all across the country. In the political field, India has demonstrated to the world how to stable democracy how a stable democracy can function successfully. All this has resulted in a total transformation in the lifestyle of Indians and especially the youth. These changes are visible from their dietary habits. These changes are visible from their dietary habits, clothing, language, and beliefs. In the next chapter, we are going to study more about internal challenges before India. So this is we have seen the first lesson is about the second lesson about the India events after 1960. Thank you.